Hello. When we are trying to find a solution to a system of linear equations, like we are here, we've learned two methods so far. We can graph them, uh, totally the easiest. We can use substitution, add 4y, substitute that in for x, and so on. That works. But sometimes there's another method called elimination that works a lot better. Uh, and I want to go through some background of some things that we can do using numbers that aren't variables, just to prove that this works. So what we're going to be doing is uh, we're going to be adding the left side of equations and the right side. Hopefully you know 1 plus 1 equals 2 and 4 plus 3 equals 7. Now if we add these down, 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3, or we could just add straight down and say 5 plus 4, does that equal 9? Yes, that's something that works. Another thing that I want to check, what if I subtract these? If I have 1 minus 4 is negative 3, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, does that equal negative 5? Yes. We can add and subtract, and uh, and the result is another equation that is true. Another thing that happens that we need to know is, can you multiply both sides of the equation by something and have it be equal? So if I multiply both sides by 2, notice here I have to multiply over the parentheses distribute, so I'd have 16 plus 6. Does that equal to 22? And the answer is yes. You can multiply the same number on both sides. These two things we'll be using quite a bit um, in this section. So we'll be solving systems by elimination. That is our goal today. Make sure you can solve it on 3 different levels. This is level 1. There's a page of level 2 and then a page of level 3. All right, now to start off, we want to decide if we want to add or subtract. And I like to put a little sign off to the side to tell me what I'm doing each round. So here we want to eliminate some variable. Now, if I add these, I get 4x, if I get 4y, and I get 9. And we get another equation with an x and a y, and that doesn't help us. However, if I subtract 2x minus 2x is 0, and then I have y minus 3y is negative 2y, now all of a sudden I have an equation without an x. And that's quite easy to solve. So the method I want to choose is subtraction, because this will be 0x, which just cancels out. This would be minus 2y, and this would be 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Now, when I divide both sides by negative 2, I get, uh, this would be 3.5, or 7 halves. So now that I have this is y is 3.5, I can plug it in for either x or either y. I would choose this one. So I would say 2x plus 3.5 is equal to 1. Subtract 3.5 on both sides, and this would be negative 2.5. And y is whatever negative 2.5 divided by 2 is. That would be negative 1.25, I believe. So now we have an x, and we have a y. Let's try another one. Now, first we have to see, do we add or subtract? If I add these, I get 6. If I add these, I get 2y plus negative 2y. Oh, that'll cancel out. So adding looks like the thing that we're going to do. So when I go down, I'm going to get 6x. I should probably do this in a different color so you can see the differentiate between the two. So this is going to be 6x. That's going to cancel out. And if I add negative 4 and 10, I get 6. So if I divide both sides by 6, my x is going to equal 1. Well, that's nice and easy. Now, if I plug 1 into either of these equations, it doesn't really matter. Let's do the top one. I'm going to have 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 2y equals negative 4. So that's 4. If I subtract 4 on both sides, negative 4 minus 4 would be negative 8. Divide by 2, and y equals negative 4. So now my x equals 1, and my y equals negative 4. One down. Two more levels to go. All right. Now, when we're here at level 2, we want to check for elimination. So if I add, I get 3x, 5y equals 11. That doesn't help me out because I didn't eliminate the x or the y. If I subtract, I get 1x, 1y equals 1. That doesn't help me out either. What we need to do is multiply both sides by a number that will help me cancel out one of the values. And I see this x here. If I multiply this by 2, it would work out. So I can't just multiply the x by 2. I need to multiply the whole thing by 2. So here I'm going to say I'm going to multiply the bottom row by 2. So to do that, I have 2x plus 3y equals 6. I leave the top row alone, and the bottom row, I multiply each part by 2. So now I have 2x plus 4y equals 10. Great. Now we have to decide what we want to do. Well, if I add these, I have 4x, but if I subtract them, they cancel out. So that cancels out. This would be negative 1y, and 6 minus 10 is negative 4. So we divide both sides by negative 1, and y equals 4. Great. I'm going to choose this bottom one because it looks a little easier. So if I have x plus 2 times 4 equals 5, x plus 8 equals 5, subtract both sides, x is going to equal negative 3, when y is going to be equal to 4. Wonderful. Let's take a look at this. What could we do? I think multiplying the top by 2 would help in a couple different circumstances. We'll have a choice to make here in a second, but we'll see. So if I multiply that by 2, we'll have 4x minus 2y equals 20. Remember, I have to multiply each part. And now I write the second equation just as it is. Now we have a choice. If I subtract, I'll eliminate my x's, but if I add, I'll eliminate my y's. I'm going to add just because that gets rid of some negatives, makes things a little bit nicer. So when I add, I'm going to get 8x. These cancel out, and over here I get 8. Well, that's nice and easy. X equals 1. Now if I put 1 in up here, I'll have 2 times 1, which is 2, minus y equals 10. Subtract 2 on both sides, negative y equals 8. So y is going to equal negative 8. When I extend the page out, we'll have x equals 1, y equals negative 8. That is our answer. All right, now we're done with stage or level 2 questions. Let's move on to level 3. Level 3 questions are going to work pretty much the same, but it's not so easy. I just can't multiply this by a whole number and get a 3. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to multiply both of these by something. So if I multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 2, this first value will be a 6. So I would get 6x minus 9y is equal to 30. And I multiply 2 across here, so I'd have 6x plus 4y is equal to 4. Now, since we have 6 and 6, we have to decide, do we add or subtract? Well, if I add, I'd get 12x. So let's subtract. So that 6x minus 6x cancels out. Negative 9 minus 4, that's negative 13y. 30 minus 4, that is 26. I divide both sides by negative 13, and my y is equal to negative 2. So now I plug negative 2 in for y. So I'll do the bottom equation. So I have 3x plus 2 times negative 2 equals 2. So 3x minus 4 is equal to 2. 3x is equal to 6. X is equal to 2. So if x equals 2, y equals negative 2. Now we are done. One more problem. So now it depends on what we want to eliminate to determine what we want to multiply by. If we want to eliminate by y, I'd multiply by 5 and by 2. If we want to multiply by x, I multiply by 3 and by 4 just to get a common number. Let's do y this time. So let's multiply the top by 5, and let's multiply this bottom by 2. So if the top is by 5, 20 minus 10y equals 50. And this would be 6x plus 10y equals 54. Now, I didn't leave room to leave my little dash line. So let's just write it over here. Here, I'm going to want to add. So I get 26x. Adding these is going to cancel out. And this is going to be 104. Divide both sides by 26. And x is going to be 4. So now that I got x, plug it back into either equation. Let's do the bottom. So 3 times 4 plus 5y equals 27. So 12 plus 5y equals 27. Divide or subtract by 12 on both sides. 5y is equal to 15, and y equals 3. So if y equals 3 and x equals 4, now we have completed the problem. We've also completed the lesson. Oh, there's one more problem, a word problem. Let's do this word problem real quick, and I'll set it up, and then I'll let you finish it. The cost of admission to SeaWorld in Orlando is $629.45 for a group of 9 children and 2 adults. So for 2 adults plus 9, here we go, 9 children, it was $629.45. That's expensive. The admission was $769.35 for another group of 10 children and 3 adults. All right, now it is your mission to use elimination with these. Figure out what you multiply by and how to solve it. Good luck.